chapter to it is Internet Society Library chapter. We are so happy that you can join or in that webinar, which have to do with encryptions and DNS. But today we will actually focus on encryptions so that it can pave the way for the DNS presentations, leading all to DNS sets. So that will actually follow series of webinars that will be coming up, and more especially will be hand-on and how to do configurations of DNS sets. That is our focus for now. So we are glad that you are joining us so that you can have an interactive process, interactive presentation. What you didn't understand, you can ask the presenters will definitely be able to answer them. Those ones that the panelists can answer, they will answer them. So I say you are welcome and feel free, continues to be with us. I will go through the learning process. So I pass it on to Sange. You can pick up from there.
Thank you, Marcy. Thank you, all those who have managed to log on so far. I said thank you. Before we start, let's just do some quick housekeeping. If you are not speaking, we ask that you put your mics off. If you have not been recognized to ask questions, all marks remain also that we don't have feedback while the presentation of Mr. Adomi is going on. Those are just a few housekeeping, and then we'll be recognizing you if you raise your hand, or you can also post questions in the chat. But we don't want anybody keeping your mic on at the same time when Michael is speaking or when another person on the floor avoid interruption. So not to bore you further, I'm just going to be introducing Mr. Marcus Adomi. Our speaker for today is Mr. Marcus Adomi. Mr. Marcus Adomi is an expert. He comes with vast experience in cybersecurity. He has traveled all over Africa to train in computer security incident response, that is the CSIRT, the creation and management since 2010, and as one of Africa's leading instructors. He's one of the AFNOG track leaders. We all know what AFNOG is. They are all in the fight for cybercrime, and they have trained a lot of engineers in Africa. Internet Scalable Service, Minute DNS, Web Server, Mail Server, DHCP Server, under AFNOG allocation sponsored by ASOC. Marcus, he specializes again in cryptography. He's keenly or mostly involved in the internet governance in Ghana. And in 1996, he studied a book, Applied Cryptography of Bruce Skinner, 1993, to master the art of using cryptography, and later he studied the handbook of Applied Cryptography at McGill to have the grasp of mathematical foundation of cryptography. He's somebody who has been studying the aspect of computer science since 1998. He has implemented cryptography algorithm in books. He assembled the language. His end of study project work was on the implementation of international data encryption algorithm. It means a lot. I mean, you cannot do cybersecurity and all of the security stuff that you want to do in cybersecurity without encryption and cryptography. Cryptography is the one that really set the pace. So meanwhile, cryptography was not part of the course though for the undergraduate level at the University of Ghana, where he studied for the BSc in computer science. Marcus' interest in internet and cybersecurity started during his master program in computer and communication network in France, Telecom Sud Paris. After the various courses on internet protocols, he discovered that most of the protocols on which the internet runs have a lot of vulnerabilities, raising the issue of security and need to be addressed in one way or the other. To be part of the solution, he has developed interest in feature creation and management. As part of the immediate president of Alpha Ghana chapter, he's the past president of Ghana Alpha. Wow. Mr. Marcus K.G. Adomi worked at the University of Ghana, Legon, and teaches part-time on basis of in some private universities in Ghana. He's the founder and executive director of Africa Institute for Cybersecurity Controls and Compliance. He is currently consulting as a senior cybersecurity consultant for Expertise France on the project Okwa. I think this is the project yesterday, Matthew Robert that led it, ECOWAS team. The Organized Crime West Africa Response on Cybersecurity and Fight Against Cybercrime. He holds a master's degree in computer science. He specializes in computer and communication network from Telecom to Paris, in France. He is currently finalizing his PhD study in Aalborg University in Denmark. So guys, there you have it. The person who is serving as our speaker today is an expert in his field. He comes with vast experience. We're going to learn from him. We have to be patient, take our time, listen to him, and then we can ask all of the questions. So I'll be turning over to Marcus. Marcus, your participant.
Thank you very much, Sange. As you said, I've developed interest in cryptography since 1994, 95, thereabouts. It's an interesting topic, and I'll do my best to share the little knowledge I have with my fellow librarians, and then from there they'll take it, because what I'm going to give is just the basics. So I will give the basics, and based on that, we can improve upon it so that we secure the internet ecosystem in Liberia. I think I have to share the screen. Okay, good. The title is Encryption Rescues DNS. As we said earlier on, there's going to be a series of a webinar that will end up with DNSSEC, and then we'll go to the hands-on. The understanding we have behind this is, we'll give you the basic knowledge of cryptography. Encryption is under cryptography. That's why we are pushing it. In this presentation, just a moment, we will cover in the basic definitions and terminologies needed, because when we don't understand the concepts behind cryptography and encryption, there's nothing we can do. So I need to explain those things. We go to the types of cryptography available. You have the symmetric, asymmetric, the hash functions, and then we move to some applications. So what is cryptography? In a nutshell, according to Philip Zimmermann, it is the science of using mathematics to encrypt data, encrypt and decrypt data. That is scientific. But I like the definition of Bruchner, which states it's the art and the science of keeping messages secure. In fact, the difference between both of them is the mathematics is there to produce algorithm, and the Bruchner's definition gives us the ability to use it. So to me, it's the science and the art of concealing the message to introduce secrecy in the information security in recognizing as cryptography. We have a plain text. We are looking at the various terminologies. A plain text. You encrypt it, you have what is called a cyber text, a scrambled data you cannot read. That's encrypted data. So when you decrypt it back, you have what you call a plain text. So the process of scrambling is called encryption, and the process of decrypting it is called, to bring it back is called, back to plain text is decryption. Now, the algorithm, that's a mathematical aspect, used to perform the encryption and the decryption is called cipher. So together, the plain text, the algorithm, the cipher text, the decryption algorithm, the encryption key, and decryption keys, all of them, they are called a crypto system. While cryptography is a science to secure data, cryptanalysis is the science of analyzing and breaking secure communications. Well, cryptanalysis is not hacking. It's done scientifically, having in mind to come up with secure algorithm. But when you put together cryptography and cryptanalysis, we have what is called cryptology. It started, long ago, 4,000 years ago, with the hieroglyph, with Egyptians. As you can see on the screen, there are several signs that I don't understand them. So that's the beginning of cryptography. Later, in the history of cryptography, we have a famous Julius Caesar. Cipher is there, which is the shift by 3, which means when he type a letter, he will change A into D, B into C, and so on. So when the recipient receives the letter, he knows that the key is the shift back by 3. So E becomes B, D becomes A, and so on. That's why when you look on the, you can see that I put Internet Society using Caesar cipher, has some scramble name there. We have Kama Sutra, 400 years before Christ. They developed the algorithm by substitution method. And it was used to encourage women to use it so that they can hide their secret relationship. So when you look at it, the 26 alphabets divided into 2. Use it, arrange the first one randomly, anyhow, and then the down one, anyhow. So when you have Internet Society, for instance, I, on the screen there, D, where you have I, it becomes D. Where you have N, it becomes what's W, and so on and so forth. So whoever sees it with this key algorithm, the person can easily decrypt and get the message back. But I can assure you that if you do that today, it can be easily broken down for you. It's no more secure. Those days, sure. Confidential. The goal of cryptography is to secure our important data on the hard disk when it's on transit, so that the bad guys should not have access to it. So cryptography provides confidentiality, integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation. I'm sure you know all of them. But the non-repudiation is the ability of, it gives the ability to prevent someone to deny being the originator of a message. Along the line, I will show it to you. Now, which type of cryptography do we have? We have 3 types: the symmetric, asymmetric, and then the hash functions. The symmetric is also known as conventional cryptography. In that cryptography, the key used to encrypt the message is the same key used to decrypt the message. Whichever key you use to encrypt is the same key you use to decrypt it. As you can see it on the screen here. There are several algorithms. You have a DNS, which stands for Data Encryption Standard, because they discovered later that it is weak. Through cryptanalysis, of course, they've twisted it in a way that, and they name it triple DES. Later, we have advanced encryption standard, international data encryption algorithm, and there are a lot: Lucifer, Hill, Loki, Cast, Cepher, RC5, Madrigal, and so on. But the issue with symmetric key is to communicate securely with someone, you must go somewhere and exchange the keys. Let's assume that I want to talk to somebody in Japan or in Liberia, for instance. I have to talk from Ghana to Liberia, or the person has to come to me, and then we share the key. And who knows, somebody must get the key somewhere. And our communication will not remain secret anymore. So it was a nightmare for the users. So to address the issues of key management, public key cryptography came into existence. That is the asymmetric key. With the asymmetric key cryptography or public key cryptography, the user generates two pairs of keys. One which is public, is in the public domain, and the second one is private and is known to the owner of the one who generated the key, or the owner of the public key. So if you want to send me a message, you don't want anybody to read it. You know, you can go to where I store my public key, especially so that they are on public key service. You go, you get it, and you encrypt the message with that and send it to me. And it's only my private key that I can decrypt the message encrypted. In case the sender deleted his original text, there's no way for him himself to decrypt back the message. It's gone. So anybody, if you can see it, the public key, anybody can see it, but the private must be hidden and known to the owner of the public key. We have some algorithm that is DSS, digital signature standard. We have the RSA, which is very secure, using e-commerce, e-banking, and e-health, all those online business. RSA is used there. We also have El Gamal, which is good for encryption and digital signature. We'll talk about them later. This is an example of public key, as you can see it on the screen. GNU PG is used to generate this, and you can see it here. We start with a begin PGP public key block, and then it ends with a 5 dash at the end. So you copy this, you save it, use it to send a message. You can use it to encrypt. There's a way to go about it. I said this is going to be more theoretical. Later we'll come to the practical ones. I've developed labs we can use together using Zoom or Microsoft Teams. And this is the example of a private key. How to generate this? GNU PG can help, can do that for you. And it is unique for anybody, everybody. Now, private key and public key. Okay, let's leave this one. We'll come back to that one later. You also have a hash functions. Hash function is a special function that encrypts in one way, but not in the other way. And what happens is, it's very easy to compute. Whenever you take any text, any file, you process it with the hash function, the output is unique. Whether it's a software, a video, the output is unique and gives you a fixed length string. You can copy it in one direction, but bring it back should be impossible. if you take a test, you add a space and you compute the hash, the value will change. So it means it is one-to-one. And it's impossible to have two different tests with the same hash value. If you have that, it means the algorithm you are using is not secure. So these are the things for hash functions. And then there are some of the algorithms here. We have MD2, MD3, 4, 5, 6. And you have the SHA-1, SHA-2, SHA-3, and so on. These are an example of the digest, the outputs. Fox, for instance, is computed, and the hash value is that this 40 characters. It's called digest, or the hash value. The red fox jumps over the bulldog, computed. You could see it's different, and it has nothing to do with the first one, although there's fox in it. There's nothing in it. And so on. It's one-to-one. Superman, you can see there. A mind needs books, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing. You take a video, an audio, you compute the hash value, you have it there. And this is very good when you want to calculate, compute the fingerprint of a file, or to check the integrity of a file. For instance, if I'm sending a message to Sange, and to be sure that I'm sending it to him, I have to add the hash value. When she computes the hash value of the text I sent her and compare it to the one I've computed, and if they are the same, she can be sure that the hash value I sent her, the message I sent her has not been tampered with along the line. Well, now, what are the applications of cryptography? Cryptography is used in several ways. Blockchain is using it. IoT is using it. Electric voting, the protocol used on the web, HTTP is also using it. That's what you have, the HTTPS. The DNS is also using it. You have the DNSSEC. But today, our focus will be on digital signature and digital certificate. Now, what is a digital signature? Simply put, how is it done? Before I explain it, it is an encrypted message with a secret key. Oh, sorry, with the private key. You know, when you are computing with the asymmetric key cryptography, you have one public and one private. The public is in the public domain to encrypt a message and send it to me to ensure confidentiality. So the one sending a message doesn't want anybody to read it. So I can be the only one, because I have a corresponding private key to decrypt that message. Now, when I take my private key and I encrypt a message with that, and I send it, it means I'm the one who, it's coming from me. I encrypt it and send it, and people were able to decrypt it with my public key. They know that it's from me. Well, later I will explain how it goes well to you. It helps community to authenticate the identity of a sender of a message or a signer of a document. And it's possible to ensure that the original content of the message or document has been sent and changed. Easily transportable and cannot be imitated by someone else. Nobody can imitate the digital signature, and can be automatically time-stamped. and has the ability to ensure that the original signed message arrived, means that the sender cannot easily repudiate it. So if you sign a message, there's no way you can say, this is not me. When I sign, those days when we were kids, and then we were spending our time to sign, we were taking our dad's signature, we were signing it just for fun. But with digital signature, there's no way you can do that. It's impossible to imitate it. So when I sign and it went through the verification process and it's confirmed that it is me, no, I can't deny it. Now let's look at how you sign truly. Let's say you have a data test. The first thing to do is to compute the hash of that message. When you have your hash message, then you encrypt it with your private key. Now, when you take that signature and the original data test, you put it together, you are appended to it, then you have the document digitally signed. I don't know whether you are following. Let me go over it once again. You have a data. The first thing to do, data is there. You compute the hash value or the digest, and you compute it. You take your private key to encrypt it, and you take both, you append it. I mean, the original data, which is unchanged, and the hash appended, then you have a document digitally signed. Now, when I send it, maybe let's say to Sange, what will she do? The first thing is to separate the data from the signature. Look at it on the how to verify side on the screen. Now, when you take the data, the first thing to do is to compute the hash of that message. You put it aside. And then you take my digital signature, and with my public key, because I encrypted with my private key. So using my public key to decrypt it, and then I have another hash value. So if I compare, or Sange compares the hash value she computed and the one I computed, which was she got through the decryption through my public key, if they are the same, then two things. Truly, the message comes from me, because it is my public key which was used to decrypt the message. And second, the message has not been tampered with on transit. That is, the original data has come exactly the way, or has arrived to Sange the way it has arrived. This particular mechanism is not to secure confidentiality. But if, for instance, the message I sign, I want to send it to Sange, and I don't want anybody to see the content, what I will do is I will use Sange's public key, which is the public domain on the public key service all over the world, to encrypt it and send it to her. Now she will use her private key to decrypt it. After decrypting it, getting to her, we know that we have ensured confidentiality. But to verify that the message is coming from me, she must go through the same process. To be sure that the message has not been tampered with, she must go through the verification process. That is the way it is done. Physical signature is just a written on paper, but digital signature encompasses crucial parameters of identifications. Physical signature can be copied, like I was doing it, we are imitating it. It is impossible to copy digital signature because it changes from one test to another. But what makes the signature is the fact of using my private key to encrypt it. So if somebody send a message using a private key somewhere and send it in my name, people will use my public key to decrypt it. when they get the garbage, they will know that it is not from me. Physical signature does not give privacy to the content, but digital enable encryption, and that's privacy. Physical signature cannot protect the content. The digital does it. Now, let's look at digital certificate. Simply put, it's like a passport or your credit card. But let's say passport. Passport because I don't know whether you know what a passport means when it is signed by an authority. It means the picture there, the name of the name of the one on the picture is what is written there. So the carrier, the one who's carrying the passport, means that is his name and that is his picture. Now, digital signature does what? To certify that this particular public key belongs to so and so, or to this person, or to this organization, or to this web server. I'm repeating it again. Digital certificate certifies that this public key, I'll show you an example soon, belongs to this person, this organization, or this device on the net. It is signed, that is, the public key is signed by those called certificates or certification authority, CA. They are on the net, they are the parties we trust. We have VeriSign, Twaft, name them. But to do that, they go and check whether the person is truly who he claims to be. And if it's the person, they issue the certificate to him. And this is an example. I don't know where you can see it, but I've broken it into two. When you see here, this is has the format X509 by IT. This is the standard. Now, a certificate has got the version, the serial number. Every passport has a serial number. The algorithm used to sign. Who issued the certificate? That's the certificate authority. The validity. Every passport has a validity period. So that's the digital certificate. Who signed it? In this particular case, we have a Lund University. Then we have to who it belongs to the subjects. And you can see here the public key of the subject here, and they use RSA to do that. And you see, it belongs to the same key belongs to Lund University. Below, okay, that's the next. You can see that this is the signature of the issuer, that's the Lund University. So when you take this signature, you can go and decrypt and then get this public key, and you know that this is truly belongs to the Lund University. It is used in a lot of transactions on the internet, including DNS, with the DNS certificate, the digital signature. Used in e-commerce, banking, e-health, name them. The TLS is one here. I'm not going to touch it. I will share the presentation with you. You can read it later. Now, some of the tools used is PGP. It's proprietary, developed by Phil Zimmerman. We have the Open PG, and then you have the GNU PG, GPG. You have the Windows versions too. So these are the tools normally used. If you don't mind, you can go and download them and start trying hands on them. But as I said, when we get to this series, we'll do hands-on exercise for those who will be part of the training. Recommendations for further readings. This is the Applied Cryptography. It's a very good book, but for those who want to go mathematics, they can go to Handbook of Applied Cryptography of Alfred Menez, Pauls, and then Scott's. It's a very good book if you are math inclined. But this one, the Applied Cryptography, the simple one, is more how to use it. On this note, I say thank you to you for your attention, and God bless you. Questions?
Wow. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. I think I learned a little bit on encryption and cryptography. But thank you on the overall for a wonderful presentation. We will now be taking questions. I see the hands of Besa Sosa.
Yes, how are you again? And thank you for the platform. My name is Besa Sosa. By way of introduction, I'm a certified MCP, certified CCNA, and also I did internet security, and I'm caring to be a CA certified and a CCIE. So again, I want to say thank you again for this team for this presentation. It's quite exciting, and it's my ardent hope that I will follow this encryption presentation and be part of me, because I also want to be an expert in cybersecurity. But again, first question I would like to ask that, will we be copied with this recording? Will we have this a copy of this recording? That's one. And secondly, how do we, for example, I saw a book, and how do we get them? And how do we, if we have follow-up questions, how do we reach out to you guys? That would be my second question, last.
Okay, should I answer this question?
Yeah, go ahead, Marcus.
Okay. Well, for the recording, I think Matthew is in charge, and I don't think there should be a problem there. But concerning my presentation, I will give it out, and you can use it. Now, concerning those books, you can get them on Amazon. But
okay.
if you want to be like someone, I'm not saying anything. Just listen. I'm not saying anything. You can go to pdfdrive.com. You can get them. You can get them for free. But I'm not saying. I won't say anything.
Yes. Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Do you have any other person who wants to ask a question? Okay.
Again, hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Again. Sorry. Again. Just last one. Okay. We are having this cloud of presentation. This cloud stuff. But will there be a time that, I know because of the COVID and pandemic, but will there be a time that we have a hands-on-hand stuff that you have a place that will have like a workshop, like a conference, that people will register and come and create awareness in Liberia or a certain part of Liberia that you would deem it necessary?
Yeah, it is on the way coming. And at the beginning, I say that I will. I've designed the labs.
Okay.
The selected people will join and we work online.
Okay.
And we'll go through the cryptography, how to create a public key, and then after the DNSSEC, how to secure your DNSSEC. But when you are secure, you have your DNSSEC. What else? That's not enough.
Oh.
We'll go beyond this by building web servers.
Okay.
From the web servers, we go to mail servers, secure mail servers, secure mail web servers. But all, they will be hands-on.
Okay. Thank you so much again. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Michael. Let me recognize Jack Brown. Jack, you are free to ask your question.
Hello, I want to say thank you so much, Mr. Atome, for the presentation. It was well taken in, but I had a question, and it has to do with, I'm a student of STARS University. Really want to know the path in which an individual can become a cybersecurity engineer or a cybersecurity, maybe I say administrator or something like that.
The path to be a cybersecurity engineer.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You have the basic knowledge, the general knowledge you are supposed to know. It's done through CCNA or CompTIA Plus, or you can read on them. But if you want to be a pro, you can focus on the specific areas. You know that I want to secure my DNS. So your business is to secure DNS. Or we can say secure internet services. I name DNS, web servers, mail servers, DHCP servers, and so on. That will be your business. How to secure them for them to go down. If you want to be a pro in blockchain security, you can go there. It's broad, but you must know the basics, the fundamentals, but focus in one particular area.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, hello, Sangeet. I think someone has a question in the text. Yeah.
Okay, I still hear Michael's question. I didn't hear you mention hybrid encryption. Can you throw some light on what a hybrid encryption is?
Hybrid encryption, what does it mean by hybrid?
Well, that's the question they're asking what you didn't throw light on hybrid. When you said the type of encryption, you said semantic and what? Did you throw anything on hybrid?
Does it mean combining the symmetric key and then the public key? Well, if that's what he means by hybrid, it is possible. Even it's not possible. It is done. Securing, they use public key cryptography to exchange secret key cryptography. The secret key is what? That the symmetric key cryptography. For instance, I want to communicate with you, Senge, in Liberia. The first thing I can do is I'll take I'll create a key, and then the secret key or the symmetric key. I will encrypt it with your public key. I will send it to you, and you'll be the only one who can read it. I'm giving the basic one, the simple one. Okay. Well, I'll send it to you. So when you decrypt it, you know that I'm the one who sent it to you, and then you get that key for that to communicate. One thing is, public key consumes a lot of processor power, but symmetric key doesn't consume as such, and it's faster. So what people do is they use public key cryptography to exchange secret key for secure communication.
So if I'm understanding you, Michael, that means the hybrid key it got most security features, is highly used because of the amount of capacity that you need to have the hybrid encryption. So can we say then is maybe used commonly or maybe in the military because of the kind of encryption it holds, the hybrid key, say it's not simple, like the military will have access to the hybrid key?
I'm not getting you. I'm not getting you. Yeah, please.
The way you describe the hybrid encryption, that it takes more processing than the symmetric.
No. Let me explain. You know, public key consumes more processing power.
Okay, then the private.
Than the symmetric. You know, with the symmetric, the key used to encrypt is the same key used to decrypt. And it is fast. So what people do is they use the public key to exchange secret key so that they can communicate faster. And that is what is done on the e-commerce and most of the applications.
Okay. So the question continues from Claudius, he says, which encryption is best for data exfiltration and how can it be detected on the network? How can you detect the kind of encryption that is best used for data exfiltration?
Let me see. Which encryption is the best for data exfiltration? And how can it be detected in the network? I'm not getting these questions.
Klaus, there, if you're able to speak, maybe when you ask verbally, you will understand. Klaus, are you there? I don't know if Klaus.
Probably he's made. What are the advantages and disadvantages of these public key and the symmetric key as compared to the secret key, something like that?
Yeah, it depends on everything depends on the application of what you want to do.
Okay.
It depends on the application. But if you need something fast, for instance, let's take WhatsApp. WhatsApp will not use public key for communication to encrypt end to end. No, it will use symmetric key. The key used to encrypt will be the same key to decrypt, so that you not feel the times. I mean, the delay. I don't know whether you are getting it. It depends on the application. If it's necessary to use public key, but it depends on the application. If the application is time sensitive, then go for symmetric key. But to share that symmetric key, you must go through, you must exchange it, and public key is used to do that.
Marcus, for me, I just need you to clarify maybe how this encryption thing works. Take, for example, if I want to send you a letter or maybe a mail privately, and I only want it to be for your eyes only, and I only want you, Marcus, to have access to it. So meaning I need to first send a private key to you, maybe by mail or by text or by whatever means. I need to first make sure that you have the key for that particular message, and then I do all the coding and all the.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Send it to you, then you will be able to decipher it, and then we'll understand the kind of message that I want you to receive. Is that it?
Yeah, but yeah, you want to send me you want a secret communication between you and me.
Yeah.
So we need to share the symmetric key, which makes things faster. But sending it through WhatsApp or email, people can easily intercept the message on the way.
So how?
Oh, well, people can tap the network. How are you sending it to me? In a plain text, if it's a plain text, you've done nothing because you encrypt it. They have the same key. They'll get a copy of the message. They will decrypt it even before I even decrypt it. So to secure, to prevent people to not to read, to get access to the secret key, what you will do is You take my public key, which is in the public domain. It's known to everybody. I store it on the public servers. MRT public server is there. You can go there, you pick my public key, then you use it to encrypt a message and send it to me. Because it's to me, I have the private key. The private key will enable me to decrypt it. So when I decrypt that message, I'll see the secret key you are using. You want us to use for our secure communication. I don't know whether you are getting it.
I am, at least I'm following now. Okay, but then I would want to agree with, what's this guy, Sosa? When he asks that this kind of course, they are based on Sosa, that it should be a hands-on kind of experience for us, because for those who have not done encryption before, this webinar could be theoretical, where we listen to the conversation, we hearing you talk about it, the jargon sounds nice, it sounds interesting, but if we have our hands on that, means displaying, we do a complete display of what you are saying, that is to send me a message, how it is prepared and all of that. If we can do some physical training on some of these encryption.
Yes, as we said, this is more theoretical. When we finish this, we go to DNS, and then from DNS, I don't mind if we want, we can push this one to the practical one to next week. We can organize the practical sessions. I'll share the link with you. You download the software onto your machine, and we create your public key. You share it, put it wherever you want to put it, then encrypt the message and send it, and so on. We can do that.
So this one goes to our president, Matthew Robert. Mr. Adomi is willing to do a segment, a practical segment with us.
We will not we'll definitely do it. But if people are eager, we can change the dates. If you don't mind, we can continue. We do the DNS next week or the next 2 weeks, and then we move to how do we call it? DNSSEC, or no, even before the DNSSEC, we do hands-on on. We create the keys and do those things before the DNSSEC.
All right, let me come in. I think the information that we share is saying that we're going to have a webinar series that is coming up. That is the fundamental part of the equations and that lead to DNS configuration. But what we are looking at is a series of technical aspects that should be, understood, because you cannot do DNS configurations or a DNS set configuration or in the lab what you know about unit OS, because it works more flexible in unit operating system than any other operating system that we think of. So for that reason, we have decided to create the first fundamental parts. And the fundamental part, if you understand what we are really leaning to, the next webinar that is coming will be talking about DNS. And then we'll look at the DNS itself to understand what is DNS. That will lead all the DNS set. And we will go to the DNS set and where we have to apply the practical part. What we are also thinking is, whether would you have one webinar will talk about how to use the unit operating system and to become confidence with it. So when the training, the hand-on comes on, you will not have to be struggling how to use the application. That's one of the areas. Then to come back to this private and public, we had symmetry that had to do with the private, and we had asymmetry that had to do with the public. These things are all technical issues that you have to understand concerning it. And you combine the two, then we say hybrid, because if you are combining the two of them, because no more data, someone will send a public key, the public key is coming to you. The only way that you can be able to decrypt, you have to get a private key of the person to be able to decrypt what they have sent to you. If you don't have, it will be difficult for you to know what the person has sent. And if you go there and the information is not the same, then also it means that it didn't come from that person. So one reason why we do it is to allow you to be able to authenticate what it been sent to you, it actually comes from the original person. But it has a lot of technical aspect. If you didn't do the configuration or they are not doing it in your presence, you will not understand what actually it means, saying it here. So when you know the basis that we have asymmetry and symmetry, and asymmetry had to do with public, symmetry had to do with private. If you understand that one, when we get there, then we say this is asymmetry, this is symmetry, then you will know definitely what we are speaking of. So I think that's the reason why we're organizing the fundamental part. But we have had a lot of series of webinar that is coming up. Next week, we should be talking about maybe the DNS itself. Then the following time, we will organize another webinar for Unix operating system. And you had to install the application in Unix operating system. I think that's where, again, I can be able to throw light on.
Thank you.
Okay, are there further questions? Further questions? Yes, Mr. Brown, Jack Brown.
Yeah, so I want please for Mr. Adami to please throw light on this SSH configuration when it comes to the RSA 102 4 bits. I want to know what is the strength of this RSA 1024 bits, because CCNA is the kind of configuring SSH in a crypto. If you are encrypting the connection for safe login into your router or into your switch, I always experience this as one of the bit, but I really want to know what strength it had on the connection line.
Okay, thank you. RSA is a very good algorithm. There was a test that a challenge that was thrown to the scientific community some time ago. Maybe during the one of the presentations, I will share that with you. It took 8 months. A lot of supercomputers to crack the encrypted message. RSA is good so far. We haven't got any challenger. So that's why it is used in most of the online applications. Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
Does that answer your question, Mr. Brown? Hello?
The media I wanted to know, not really, but anyway, I think the media I want to understand the weight of this 1024 bits. Is it having any weight on the encryption?
Oh, okay. Okay. The 1024 bit and 2048. Well, the higher the the higher the bits, stronger the encrypted value, difficult to break. But in some it depends on the one who's doing the implementation. They can just limit to 1024. Don't forget, some countries has regulations that you can go to 2024, 2048. But it's possible to do it. But the higher you go in terms of bits of encryption, stronger it is.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
So, if there are no further questions, I'll let Michael to give us a closing parting statement before we talk to our president.
Give a closing. I think that is for Matthew to close it, or Philip.
No, I know you got some goodies that you want to share with us later, maybe in a week or so to come. You'll be talking to our president, but we just want to appreciate the time you have with us
Okay.
today.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. As Matthew said, we are going to have a series of webinar. COVID, if our new normal induced by COVID-19, I will urge everybody to forget about the cost of data, for us to meet online and learn. If you say COVID, we are lagging behind. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. Matthew, it's over to you.
All right, thank you very much. My appreciation also goes to all of you tuning today. I think we have more than 115 registration for the webinar, but we see that we didn't even make also 1/4 of it. What I can urge us is the COVID-19 will not end soon. It's here to live with us, just as we have other diseases that will be living with us. While we're fighting to see how we can eradicate it or minimize it, everything has moved online. So we have to double up that other teachings and conferences are being conducted online. If we see that we don't have the data to come online to participate in these things, it means that we will not have knowledge when it comes to what to do the next 2-3 years, because we are not thinking that it is going to finish soon. Because we're working on it, the more it's doubling up. So we had to also double up to keep being on par with others. So we have a series of webinars that are coming up. So the webinar that will be coming up is beneficial to all of us who have attended today. The reason we did this is to see the attendance and see who will be able to go for the hand-on. If you go in for the hand-on and you don't have an idea from the theoretical part, it will give you difficulties to do. Maybe you may not understand why we'll be speaking of when we are doing the hand-on. Well, not to consume most of your time, I say thank you again for coming. We hope that we'll see you next week. We will be sharing another link, and that link will be explaining to you what will be the next topic that will be coming. So I say thank you, and thank you to Marcus. He's always waiting to form part of our team to help share the knowledge, and I'm also hoping on him that the connection I will have with the guy from Benin, he will also be able to connect, maybe during the time of the DNS set, to help him with the configurations and the handle. So thank you all. I see you again.
Okay, guys, thank you. Bye-bye.
Very much. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yeah, bye.